Alright, so this video is going to cover box and whisker plots, and our objective is to construct box and whisker plots and find 5-number summaries on your calculator, as well as find outliers for discrete data. So first of all, I want you to see what a box and whisker plot looks like. The reason why it's called a box and whisker plot is, look, there is a main box, and these out here are called whiskers. Isn't that cute? This one is also graphed where it has an outlier. So sometimes when we graph the box and the whisker, we have outliers in the data, and so we have a separate dot showing that there is an outlier. Okay, so now that we know what a box and whisker plot looks like, let's talk about how you make one. The box and the whisker represent things that you already learned how to find. This edge of this whisker is the lowest value. The start of the box is Q1. The middle line is Q2. This side of the box is where Q3 is, and this right here is where the highest value is. Okay, so it represents the 5-number summary. So I want to show you how you find the 5-number summary with using your calculator. My computer calculator isn't working right now, so what I want you to do is get your own calculator out right now, and I'm going to explain to you how you find the 5-number summary, and you'll just have to find the corresponding buttons as I explain it. Okay, so the reason why I want to show you how to find the 5-number summary using your calculator is it's a lot faster than what we did in the other video. We had to order the numbers from lowest to greatest, and then we had to find the median for Q2, and then we had to find the median of the lower half, which was Q1, and the median of the upper half, which is Q2. Your calculator can do it all for you, and it's a lot faster. So the first thing you need to do is to enter these numbers in a list. So you press Stat, and then the first option is Edit. So you want to press Enter at Edit, and you're going to enter these in a list. So if you already have things on your list, I would recommend clearing them. And I would also recommend entering them into L1. So you're going to clear L1. Don't press Delete. You want to clear it. Delete will totally get rid of that whole column L1. So highlight L1, clear it, and then you're going to enter all your data. So take a moment right now to enter all of this data into L1. Okay, once you have all that data entered, you want to press Stat again, go over to Calc, and then press Enter on the first one, which is 1 var stats. 1 var stats stands for one variable statistic, and this is all one variable. So that's what we want to do. We want to press Enter, and then you press Enter again. There's a whole long display of things, and we'll talk about those in a later video. One thing I want you to notice is on the screen, the last one should say n equals 27. That means that there are 27 pieces of data. So if it doesn't say there's 27 pieces of data, you obviously missed one or you typed in an extra one. So make sure that says 27. Also right now, just do a visual check. That first one, X bar, that stands for mean, make sure that it's 27.185. There's some numbers blah 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 after that, but if it's not 27.185, then you also messed up entering some of these numbers. So anyways, once you check those things, I want you to scroll down with the arrow key, and right there it tells you min X, it should say 8, that's the lowest number. It'll tell you Q1, that's 10. It'll tell you MED, that stands for median, 25, so that's Q2. It'll give you Q3, which is 45, and it'll give you the max, X, which was 53, and that's the highest value. So there it is. Your calculator found the 5-number summary for you. You didn't really have to do any work but enter it into a list. Okay, so what do you do with those numbers? Well, when we graph a box and whisker plot, what we want to do, well, normally you're going to do it on graph paper, so I'm going to try the best I can without graph paper. And you're going to number things on a number line with an appropriate scale, so don't jump around. But remember, I'm kind of eyeballing things here. But when you do this for real, you want to use graph paper and make sure that it actually does have a for real scale. But the lowest value is 8, so that's the beginning of my whisker. Then Q1 starts at 10. Q2 is 25. Q3 is 45. And the highest value is 53. So there is my box and whisker plot. What the box and whisker plot tells you is a whole lot. It tells you what the range of the data is. So I know that the range of the data is between 8 and 53. It tells me what the range of the lowest 25% of the data is. So that would be between 10 and lowest 25%. So that would be between 10 and 8. It tells me where the middle 50% is of the data. The middle 50% is between 10 and 45. And it tells me additional information about like the second and third 25% of the data. So we can also use the 5-number summary to calculate outliers in the data. So outliers are data values that are very distant from the rest of the data. And what we do, one way to find an outlier is to find the interquartile range. So the interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. So we're going to take the interquartile range, multiply it by 1.5, and then we're going to take that number, we're going to subtract it from Q1, and we're going to add it to Q3, and if any numbers are below this number or above this number, then those numbers are outliers. So for our example, let's do that. Our Q3 was 45, our Q1 was 10, so the difference between those is 35. Our Q1 was 10, so what we're going to do is do 35 times 1.5. We're going to subtract 52.5 from 10, which is negative 42.5. So I definitely know there's not an outlier. There weren't any negative numbers in the bottom part of the data. But then for the Q3, we're going to take 45 and we're going to add 52.5. And that's going to be really big. That's going to be 97.5. And so there weren't any numbers greater than that either. So this set of data didn't have any outliers. If there was a set of data that did have an outlier, what you need to do is get rid of the numbers that are outliers, recalculate the 5-number summary without those outliers, and draw a box and whisker plot just putting points or dots where those outliers are. Just a quick thing that I wanted to talk about before I let you go is the use of frequency tables, because I just saw this in one of the problems that I assigned. Sometimes you get a frequency table in a problem, and this is an example of one where we have ages and then we have the frequency of those ages. Instead of just listing all of the raw data, it's just a simpler way to list that data. So this means that there are 2 1-year-olds. There would be 2 1s, and there's 5 2-year-olds, and there's 3 3-year-olds, and there's 1 4-year-old. And so this is what the raw data looks like. So that might be helpful when doing some of the problems on the practice problem. Now if you want to find the 5-number summary for this, you can do that on your calculator. You're going to go to Stat, and you're going to go to Edit, and you're going to list in L1, you're going to put all of the ages, and in L2 you're going to put all the frequency. And then when you go to find the 5-number summary, you're going to go back to Stat, and you're going to go Calc, and you're going to tell your calculator to do 1 var stats. You're going to do L1, comma L2. What it's going to do is multiply the first list times the second list, and then it's going to give you an accurate 5-number summary. I hope that helped. Sorry I didn't have a visual calculator to look at, so if you have any questions about the calculator stuff or anything else, just let me know. Thanks, bye.